Hey, this is Damien Spades, and you're watching my New Scott interview for newscott.com. How's Kelly? She good?
Kelly's always good.
Yeah.
I love her. All right, I'm back here with another New Scott interview, and today in his studio house, we have Damien Spades. How you doing today, Spades?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I've known you for a long time. I think like 2004, somewhere around there we met?
Yep, I think it would have been like an MSW tour or something.
I think so. Yeah, it would had to have been back before you were trained. That's a real good idea, but we'll get to that. Were you a fan of professional wrestling growing up?
Oh yeah, always. I remember watching it on TV. My folks were really into it. My grandfather was a huge fan. I remember going to, I think my first WWE event was...
Get me sued.
Yeah, right. It was at the Forum, and I remember it was Undertaker and Yokozuna in a casket match.
Okay.
And I remember it because I was walking, you know when you walk around the sides, underneath like the stands in the Forum, obviously they had a curtain off where the talent was, but then they had the casket sitting there, and it was just a regular casket. I'm like, there's no way Yokozuna is fitting in that casket, so I kind of knew, like, but it was just kind of cool to see that. And I remember I got this old diesel power water bottle, and I don't know where that is. I know the sleeve part of it's probably somewhere at my parents' house, but
awesome.
The water bottle is long ago. But that was like, I think my first WW.
So that would have been like 93, 94-ish?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there? Because that's when that's when they were feuding.
I was probably like 12.
Okay.
12, 13.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who were your favorite guys to watch?
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I loved Hulk Hogan. I'm a Hulkamaniac, brother.
Did you watch it before you went to your first live event?
Yeah, I'd catch it on like the Saturday main event and stuff like that on TV.
Yeah.
And when I could, if I wasn't out playing with my friends or whatever, I'd try to catch it when I could. But yeah, pretty much it.
What was it about Hogan?
Just the larger than life, like, man, this guy can beat up anybody. He's a massive giant, and just the power of Hulkamania, you know. And like, I like the Rockers, just because, like, I guess I always knew I was like a rock and roll heavy metal guy, so I always liked that gimmick. Obviously Bret Hart, Canadian boy. Yeah, for some reason I liked, this would be weird, the Quebecers because of their arrogance and like how much the crowd hated them. It was like, I'm Canadian, so I can relate, and like, you know, it was just fun to watch how they would like get the crowd so angry just by being, you know, it was good.
One of those guys has lit the indie scene on fire.
Oh my god, PCO, yeah.
He's like 30 years past his prime.
He's like in his 50s.
On fire.
He's in
Ring of Honor now.
Yeah. I seen him like do this moonsault off like in the crowd onto like a table. I watched a promo where a guy was stapling his mouth shut. I was just like, oh, what is... No! Like, legit, like, full staples, stapling his mouth shut, and, like, it was like a Frankenstein-type gimmick promo, and I was like, what am I watching? But it was, like, so cool.
I think Marco wrestled him a few months ago, too.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a big deal for him, because I think Marco, because the French thing, I think he kind of looked up to him or whatever. But, yeah, I think Marco wrestled him somewhere not too long ago. I could be wrong, but I think that happened. What's your favorite Hulk Hogan memory?
Probably, probably slamming Andre, like everyone else.
Yeah, WrestleMania 3.
Yeah. I really liked. I was a fan of Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling.
Yeah, the cartoons.
I used to watch the cartoon.
I got them on VHS.
No,
yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm a closet Hulk Hogan movie fan.
Love No Holds Barred.
There's No Holds Barred, Mr. Nanny, Suburban Commando. Oh, I love. They're so bad. They're so Santa with muscles. Oh.
He's in one of the Three Ninjas movies too, I think.
Number 3, I think.
Yeah.
High Kick at Mega Mountain or something like that. Yeah. That's my secret niche. I like watching those Hulk Hogan cheese movies, like Thunder in Paradise, and
I bought that on VHS like a couple months ago for
really?
for 99 cents. Yeah.
Back when my like Cody Box was working, I would sit there and watch them, and it would. It's hidden under the TV there. Oh. It would. I sat like Mr. Nanny and all those, and it was just like, oh man, so bad. Like, was it? What's the Mr. Nanny where he's like playing a wrestler, but the guy gets dropped in his head, and then he's got like a metal plate on his Thanos. It's like, oh my god, Thanatos or something. The guy's name was so bad, but it was so good.
Were you crushed when Hogan went to WCW?
Yes, because I wasn't really watching WCW at the time. So yes and no, because it kind of turned me on to WCW. Because I was like, okay, let's see where it goes. And then, I mean, I love Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. That's when they turned him heel. Money. It was so good. Because like so many years he's been an idol to wrestling fans and stuff, and then all of a sudden just spit in their faces. Oh, so good.
You're from this area, like the Halifax, Dartmouth area. Did you go to any independent wrestling shows before you started wrestling?
Yeah, my first independent shows would have been Real Action Wrestling at the Exhibition Park.
Okay. So you were there too.
Oh yeah. I remember watching Massive Damage wrestle Gary and take that huge bump off the balcony. Yeah. I remember seeing the Cardinal Sinners, Pete, Mike, Kurgan, and Bobby with their valet, Flesh Gordon, Custom Made Man, Vinny Glide. I remember I seen them all. Yeah. I've probably seen you there a few times in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
I think we've talked about it before, but
maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, and then recently, like last year in Vegas, I got to see Massive Sean for the first time, and we relived some of those memories. He's like, man,
that's awesome.
It was so good to be down there. He's like, man, you gotta come back. And he's like, I want to.
Yeah.
So promoters out there, Massive Damage.
He messaged me not too long ago, and he asked for a bunch of the stuff that he did when he was out here. So I put together a playlist for him and sent him everything that I had.
Nice.
So that would have been like 2001.
Yeah.
What are some of your memories of Real Action Wrestling? You just said a few of the guys that you've seen, but do you have any matches or segments or whatever that stick out?
Like I said, the one with Massive and Gary.
Jumping off the
thing. Gary.
Was that Gary that was on the bottom of that?
I think it was either Gary or Chi-Chi maybe.
Because I know they did. Massive jumped off of a truck onto him, but that was out west. I can't remember. It might have been Gary. I'm
pretty sure it was because I remember Gary wore the cutoff jean shorts back then.
Yeah.
Had the long hair.
Yeah.
And then so everyone thought I was trying to be Gary nowadays, but.
I think that too.
yeah. There's a picture actually on my phone I took in my first year in Vegas where I looked like I was like, this is my Gary impression. People were like, what? Because I had like the long hair with the bandana, gimmick and stuff. There's there's that match. I remember the Cardinal Sinners doing. I can't remember. It was like, I'm pretty sure it was like Pete and Bobby or Kingman, and you should bring that look back. I liked that look. I like Pete's look. Yeah, King like the handlebar and like the slick back hair. It was good. I like that. Jeez.
It's funny to think of him being bigger because he was gigantic. He's still gigantic, but he was like 50 pounds more gigantic back then.
Oh man. Yeah. But he was like, from what I remember, he looked leaner almost.
Oh yeah, no, not out of shape.
I'm not calling him fat or out of shape, but I'm saying like
he was thicker, more muscular. Not that he's not now, but just if you put them side by side, like it's a different person.
Oh yeah. And then you got the complete opposite with Bobby. Bobby was like, he was still like in shape and fit, but he was still like, I remember him being like, he's the tiny one.
Yeah.
Wearing the velvet panties.
Yeah.
Kathy. And so it was just like, just to see the change and see where Bobby is now and see where everyone is now, and like, it's cool to be like, my first wrestling show, like independent, involved the people that I deal with today. One that I got trained by Gary, and people that I've become friends with and shown respect to, and like it's cool little full circle.
Yeah, it was the same way for me. Like my first show was a Grand Prix show, but like my second or third was a Real Action show, and then 9 years later they were at my wedding. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
I can't remember if I've ever been to it. Well, no, I think I have been to a Grand Prix show. I can't remember when, but I remember that old ring, that the chains every time someone takes a bump.
Yeah.
The red, white, and blue ropes. it was a pretty nice ring. I bumped in it. I did like a 1-day training seminar up at Emil's house.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I don't know if you want to get into that later.
Oh yeah, for sure. How did you find Real Action Wrestling? How did you know the shows were going on?
My family members, my uncle Jack and his son Scott. So you met Scott. He used to come to the Wrestle Center.
The guy I got the tapes from?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So like him and his brother Mike, they used to go, and my dad would go on, I think Saturdays or whenever it was, and I just started coming with them, and I was just like, yeah, I want to go see wrestling, like because they were like religious,
yeah.
And even when I was wrestling like full time at like Wrestle Center, they would always try to come. So like my family loves wrestling.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I would come with them. Except my mom. My mom hates watching me wrestle. It's like, that's my baby. I don't want to see him get beat up.
I think that's pretty normal, though. Most mothers that don't want to see their...
like this past UCW VIP show where I did the 6-man tag.
Yeah.
My dad's like, oh yeah, me and your mom were going to come. And I was like, you probably shouldn't bring her. Like, I don't want to... Because the last time she came to a show, it was a mainstream show, mainstream wrestling, at the Forum. And it was... It was me and Dice versus Justin, Roman Steel Cable, Justin Spur, and I can't remember who his partner was. But he was
that
doing
at the multi-purpose center?
Yeah, he was doing the German gimmick.
Yeah.
And we were doing a tables match.
Yeah, and the table wouldn't break.
And the table wouldn't break. So Rick Doyle comes out and he lays the table across the apron on the floor, pretty much right in front of my mom in the crowd, lays me on it. And then he climbs to the top rope and jumps, and I'm not talking like an elbow, like double stomp right on my chest, and all I could do was try to brace myself. And the table, I think the table broke. It like cracked a little bit.
Yeah.
But all this in front of like my mom's baby boy.
And that was totally unplanned. I was standing next to Rick in the back, and you guys were trying to break the table, and the table didn't break it. He was getting angrier and angrier and angrier, and he's like, "I'm gonna run out there. Should I run out there? I'm gonna run out there." And then boom, he's gone. I'm like, oh god.
Oh, I miss Rick.
Yeah. Now, what was it about pro wrestling that made you think you could do it? Because I know you're not an overly big guy, and back when you were starting watching wrestling, going to the shows, those guys were enormous. So what was it about it that made you think you could do it?
Born entertainer. I love being in front of an audience. I love performing. One of my passions is making videos, funny skits, always to make people laugh, make people like me or hate me. It's a thrill. I love interacting with the crowd, and just being able to do that is satisfying to me. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's fun. But what about the physicality part of it? Like,
well, I was athletic when I was younger. Like, I played baseball. I knew how to skate. I skateboarded. I was fairly. It's not like I sat around all day. Like, I was active, and I was just like, I'm not overweight. I'm not tiny, but I figure I could do this. Like, start hitting the gym. And,
15 years later.
Yeah, whatever. Late bloomers.
But now you were wrestling before you went to the Wildman Academy.
Yeah.
Did you get trained at all before that? Like,
basically, I had a bump.
From who?
Devin Chip.
Okay. Did you do the? I can't remember. Ring of Dreams or Ring of whatever it was that he had in Dartmouth.
Like, the one on Cole Harbor Road.
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah.
You were there, but you were trained.
I was already trained then.
Right. They can't see me doing the
yeah, so I'll do them for you.
Yeah.
No. So basically, like, I met up. So
how did you find Devin?
So a friend of mine in high school, Tim Kimball. I don't know if you ever remember Tim.
I remember Tim. He did music for mainstream for all the dueling shows back in the day.
Comatose and Chronic.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I know a guy who can train us to be wrestlers. Because, like, I met Tim in high school, and we talked about wrestling and how much we liked it. He's like, yeah, I got someone that can teach us how to wrestle. I'm like, okay, let's try it out. So we met Devin, and I think the first time we went to, either the first or second time, we went to the Spryfield, that strip mall where Canadian Tire is, there was like an office, and we had like crash mats, like the floor mats, and basically learned how to bump on those.
Okay.
Because I don't think he had the ring set up at this time.
Was this like 2004?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically and then when he got the ring set up, it was like, I can't remember, it wasn't indoors, it was outdoors, I know that. And then we had the ring at Tim's house for a while, up in Eastern Passage.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my very first match was against Adam Pelly.
Okay.
And I don't even remember the town, but the finish, he was CN Power then.
Yeah.
And I was Julian Spacek, and I was like, I had a mohawk, and I wore a cutoff shirt, kind of like what I do today. And the finish, I snapped my head back on the mat when I took the finish, and I was so out of it that when I rolled out of the ring, the entrance was this way, and I started walking this way. I've got it on VHS somewhere downstairs.
That's funny.
But I seen Adam a week or two ago, and he was just like, man, I still remember that first time you walked. It's just like, yeah. But then I did like a tour with the Honky Tonk Man, wrestled a few shows at Doolittle's, and just did little tours with MSW. We took a weekend trip up to Emile Dupree's house, trained in his garage in the ring. His son Jeff was working for Devin at the time, so we went up there and just did like a day or two. I think I met Emile, I'm not even sure, but yeah. And then we were on a tour, and that's where I met Tony and Steve.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll lead into your next question, I assume.
Not yet.
Oh.
What was...
Sorry,
what?
Jump the gun.
No, that's fine. You can, whatever you want. I'll always just go back to where I'm at. Did you realize at the time that this wasn't necessarily the proper way to get trained, or did you know any better?
I didn't know any better. I was a young kid, high school kid, with my buddy. We were having fun. It was like, yeah, we'll go to shows. We're not making any money, but it's like, it's cool. Like, yeah, we're like one of them wrestlers, and we did tour. It was something different, and it was fun. Like I said earlier, to interact with the crowd. That was I loved doing that and being able to like bring them up, bring them down, or whatever. And it was just like we were just having fun. And then,
did you realize the danger of it though at that point, or?
Little bit, like.
Because you just said in your first match you smashed your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was just like, okay, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Now I know not to do that. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really. It was carefree because, like I said, we were just young and stupid. Like I was into extreme sports back then. So like skateboarding, snowboarding, BMX, and like. Oh, you're welcome, Julian. I used to break dance. Every time I see Julian, hey man, you still break dance? And then I turn the corner and Tice would be there. Hey man, you still break dance? So like a month or two ago, we were at Julian's house and I break danced for him. But so I was used to like injuries, like falling down from skateboarding or hurting myself. So it was just like, okay, this is something else to add to the list of whatever. I'll just get better.
What you mentioned you're meeting Lincoln Steen, Tony Armstrong. What are your memories of meeting those guys for the first time?
Oh, they were super cool, man. Cause Steen's got
the truth.
no, they're really good. They're really super nice guys. They helped me out when I could. And if it wasn't for Tony, I wouldn't have known about Gary. So, because we did a show. I wrestled Tony actually, and I think on like the drive back or something, he was like, "You need to smarten up and go fucking get trained by Gary."
Was that from when we came back from Yarmouth?
With the claw?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh, yeah,
that was a long. Yeah, I think that was the claw. The claw.
It was me, you, Tony, and Melissa.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you need to like go get trained by Gary, and that's when I started asking questions about where I can go. I think I got in contact with Gary. I think I've still got the emails actually saved because I'm a pack rat. I save everything.
Yeah, I do too for the most part.
Well, yeah, but that's good for you because now if anyone has any question about anything ever in maritime wrestling, they ask you.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wait, let me check file cabinet F over here. Like, you got it all. It's good.
Just before Gary started his, just before Gary started his wrestling school, there was a show on Godigan Street at the Micmac Friendship Center.
Yep.
We get there. What are your memories of that show? I'll let you tell the story.
Oh man, that's way back. I remember seeing pictures of it on. There was maybe it was me, my friend Tim, who was I think comatose at the time. What's the guy's name? Jason Paradise? I know.
Jason Holiday?
Jason Holiday was there.
Yeah. He actually wrestled on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I just remember like going in there, all the little kids.
Basically, what I want you to talk about is how you were the fourth ring post for the entire show.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Because the ring. Okay, since you don't remember, I'll tell the story, and maybe it will refresh your memory.
No, now you said that. Yeah,
the ring was outside. That was the ring we used for the first Maritime Cup in 2003. When it was left outside Scott Savage's house for the next 2 years. That thing survived Hurricane Juan outside.
Holy shit.
So when we were going to use it for the show at that Micmac Friendship Center, we didn't realize it was broken because it was still together at Scott's house. So we get it to the building, we put it up, and we realized one of the fourth post is completely cracked off. The ring isn't going to go together.
Yeah.
There was no way to have ropes. So we told the fans outside, we gave them a discount if they still wanted to come in and watch the show. So we found a giant coffee table, and we stuck it under one end of the ring, and then you physically stood there for the entire show holding the post in place so the ring didn't fall apart.
Yep. I completely forgot about that.
Paying your dues.
Oh, buddy, always pay your dues, even afterwards.
So now, if you remember...
Yeah, that was like, I think it was just like, that was new, and it was like paying your dues, like you said.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure the guys and stuff were safe. So I just wanted to like, I stood there and I made sure that thing didn't move. But yeah, wow. And like since then man, it's weird to think about how many like Jimmy rigged situations I've been in. Like there was that one. There was that awful campground show where like half the ring was missing, and we were like, oh, we had to like get the ring together in like 10 minutes. Oh man. I totally forgot about that.
Had you met Gary yet? Or was that the first time you met Gary in person? Because that was the first night Troy ever met him, was at that Micmac Friendship Center show.
That's probably the first time I met Gary too.
Do you have any memories of meeting him for the first time?
No, I was probably just starstruck, really, because I used to see him at Real Action Wrestling, and then it's like, man, like now I'm getting trained by the Wild Man. Like this is gonna be awesome. So yeah, no, I don't really. He's super nice. I love Gary so much.
You were part of Wildman's first ever training class through the Wildman Academy. It was you, Chris Madison, Aaron Haggerty, and Tommy Osborne. What are your memories of walking into that garage in Spryfield for the first time? It's kind of funny because where they have the ring now, it's like across the street from where the ring was originally.
Pretty much, and it's like the same kind of scenario where it's like a garage
with no heat.
And no heat. There is a furnace with like, because I remember seeing where the furnace was, there was a pipe that stuck out, and you had to be careful if you hit the ropes on that side not to get gored through the back with a furnace pipe. I think it was just excitement, like I'm taking the next step. I'm actually properly getting trained.
That was the ring that you guys trained in too, the one that was broken.
Yeah.
That Jeff fixed it before you guys started training in it.
Yes, that's right. Because I remember I think we took it all out, and we set it back up again.
Yep.
We had to do that multiple times actually, but I remember, we'd open the big bay door.
It kept breaking, and Jeff kept having to fix it.
Yeah.
That ring was like 30 years old at the point.
Yeah. But he got some new ropes and stuff, so which is nice. But
I got those ropes.
oh, did you?
Yeah, those ropes were mine and Cinder's for that show.
So
that
you can credit partially for training me. Yeah. No, it was surreal to see like an actual, like, I felt like I was making the right move. Obviously I was. So I was excited. And I just couldn't wait to get started. And yeah.
What was the difference from your original training to the training you were starting to do early on with Gary?
Well, the original training, like I was going into Gary's school already kind of knowing how to bump and run the ropes. Because I had done a few shows. So like...
Like, were you doing it correctly? To Gary's standards, correctly?
I think for the most part I was.
Because there's nothing against Devin. Devin's trained a lot of guys that are good, and he knows
he broke
what he's
me in.
doing.
Like, I'll always be thankful for him giving me a shot.
To crap on Devin. Like, he trained Tony. Like he trained a lot of guys, and he does a good job. I'm just curious as to like your experience.
Devin was always really safe. What?
Yeah. Just your experience of like how Gary was teaching to how the little you
it was
learned
pretty
from
much the
Devin.
same. Like, you know, like Gary said in his interview, it's just like guys that would come in and like kind of knew what they were doing. He just kind of okay, you're doing that pretty good. Try it this way.
Because it was the same deal with Aaron Haggerty too.
Yeah.
But Jeff and Chris they were day one.
Yeah. No, it was fine. There's no real difference. Like, just basically I think it was what was different for me is I was training at a school every weekend, whereas when I first like broke in with Devin, it was like, you know, show you the basics and then kind of there'd be shows,
right? And
you'd kind of learn in a match,
right? That's how we did it.
Which is that's fine, but like it was nice to have like a dedicated this we're working on this week we're working on that and this and so it's not like here's how to bump and take the ropes, kid. Like throw you in a match, figure it out. So.
Was there something about training that you found more difficult over something else? And on the other side, was there something you came across easier for you?
I hated doing savage rolls. They were terrible.
Savage? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you remember that? It was like, so you would all like lay down except for one person, and you'd all roll
and he would,
across, and the person standing would have to sidestep over everybody, drop down, and roll. Oh my god, I hated those much.
That was more conditioning, like actual wrestling training.
Like Gary said, power bombs. They're scary, man. Like for someone that like if you've never taken one or like
most people, it's fair to say most people haven't.
True. But like the whole feeling of like you're up here, you're up high, like Gary's tall, and like to fall backwards at that height, and I grabbed like he said, I grabbed his head, like no, and like twice I did that, and then he ended up having to do a sit down power bomb. I was like, he's like, stop being a fucking pussy. I'll do a sit down power bomb, and he did, and it was fine. But so the power bomb, obviously. Yeah. I don't know, like
what about
chain wrestling? I guess like I've never been. Obviously, if you've seen my match, I'm never a big chain wrestler guy. I know stuff enough to get me by, which is terrible to say. I shouldn't be saying it, but I'll just be honest. You know, there's guys out here, especially nowadays, they'll fucking 10 minutes of chain wrestling and it looks phenomenal, and they obviously put in the hard work and they learned it, and I was just always felt like I should be like the brawler, you know, full energy brawling like wrestler. I shouldn't be like a technical wrestler.
Every style has a spot, right? Like not everyone needs to be Benoit or Kurt Angle, like you know what I mean?
I'm a shitty chain wrestler or whatever. That's like I was with the last UCB VIP show. I was in the ring with Jeff before the show. I'm like Jeff, can I just like do a little bit of chain with you? Like the stuff's in there. It's a little rusty and I need to like bring it back up. And Jeff was like, oh yeah, no problem, man. So I was like, did a couple like arm ringer stuff and arm moves and like hammer locks and stuff. It was so just like, I was like, thanks, man. Like I just needed to dust off because the information's in there from when I learned it with Gary, but it's just.
Was there something that came easier to you? Leave aside like bumping and running the ropes because you already knew how to do that.
Yeah. Let me think. Body slams and suplexes, probably.
Yeah.
Suplexes especially. I love giving suplex. I haven't done one in a while. I want to start doing them again. But that nice like feeling, the crisp feeling, and then it's snapping over or bringing them up and over. It's great. I always love doing those.
What are your memories of the other 3 people you trained with?
Oh, I love those guys.
Yeah.
I want to. Right now, I'm putting it out there. I want to have a reunion match because they beat us the first time, and I want a rematch. What? 15.
2006. It was in January 2006. So 13 years.
13 years. Yeah, 13 years in the I want a rematch. So I want Jeff and Chris to come back here, find Aaron wherever he is, and I want a Wild Man reunion match. That's what I want. I've pitched it. I'll pitch it to whoever wants to have it. I'll take it. Preferably IHW because that's where we had our debut match. But
Jeff's coming back soon, actually.
Oh,
not to live. He's coming back for like a week.
Yeah. Week's plenty of time.
He's in better shape now than he ever was too. It's great.
Me too. Weird.
So you're going through training.
Yeah.
When do you remember Gary telling you guys that you were getting ready to graduate and you're going to have your first match with IHW?
Like we were progressing through the training, we were getting better, we were learning. We were starting to put little matches together. And then it was just like, we kind of knew like the time was coming up to an end. Just like there wasn't really more he could teach us. And I think he just said, you guys are just gonna have a match. I'll give you guys a match. I'll guarantee you guys have a match after training. Mm-hmm. And then we're just like, let's do a tag match. And then we practiced it and practiced it and practiced it. And we practiced one of the funnest times I've ever had was, were you there when we practiced promos? Did you shoot the promos?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, I go back sometimes and watch those. The best one's Jeff, and he's, when I come up, yeah, and he just walks away. Oh, some of these promos, they were so good. Oh, I miss that place. Such good memories.
Yeah, it was so fun.
The tire swing out front.
Taking
the chair shots for the first time. I remember me and Jeff, we did Gary would, you'd run at Gary, he'd hit you in the stomach, he'd bend over and he'd just bang, or he could do it on all fours. And me and Jeff did it. Do you remember we ran outside
into the snowbank?
Right into the snowbank. We're like, oh my god. And then, that was, I miss those guys. I'd really like to get together with those guys again.
Yeah. It sucks. Jeff's like my best friend, but he lives in Calgary, the bastard.
Nothing wrong with Calgary.
No, it's not here. I don't care. It's nothing against Calgary. It's where he lives.
Yeah.
What are your memories of that first match? How did it turn out how you guys hoped? Walking into IHW's locker room at the time. Now, back then, none of these guys were experienced. They had just run maybe 2 or 3 shows themselves at this point.
Yeah.
But they were all still there. Like Burke was there, but he was Mr. Suave, Joshua Arrow. Titus was there. Julian was there.
Sidewinder.
Chris
Nick
Tuff, Sidewinder. BT Bottom.
It's so nice, and I'm seeing these
Storm.
guys. Like when I go up to these IHW shows now, like
who wore the duct tape boots? Like they duct tape his feet. I had this conversation with somebody the other day.
I think it was Chris Tuff.
Was it Chris Tuff?
He used to wrestle in bare feet, but he would tape like the arches of his feet.
That's who it was.
Because I talked to him
with somebody. Couldn't remember.
The charity show at IHW, he was there, and we were talking. He's like, man, I remember when I first seen him. He's like, oh my god, it's like a reunion. Like
I haven't seen the guy in like 12 years.
You gotta come up to an IHW show.
That's the plan.
March 22nd.
Yeah. Hoping to.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yes, we'll talk.
Yeah, well,
but like walking into that locker room for the first time, it was just like, we remember what Gary taught us, and I follow it still to this day. Keep your mouth shut, ears open, be respectful, say hi to everyone, introduce yourself, pay your dues, help set up the ring if need be. I remember showing up there in Irish Town and setting up the ring. And it was nervous. Pete was there to watch our first match.
Yep.
And he said it was great. He's like, that's the best first match I've ever seen or seen in a long time.
Yep.
So that was really good. Gary was super proud of us. I feel it went really well. Yes, we practiced the shit out of it. But
what does that matter?
It doesn't matter.
People still do that.
Yeah. So I feel it went really well. We got over the whole baby face and heel thing.
Yep.
I feel it went great. And I remember at the end, Gary came out and, hugs Jeff and Chris. And then me and Aaron were standing in the aisleway. And he comes over and you can see it on the video. He's like, "What's going on? I didn't teach you guys to lose." And I look at Gary and I'm like, "Can I push you?" And Gary just goes, "No." And then in the video you see me turn around and we walk.
Yeah.
But I was just like, "Oh man, I'm so mad." I was like pretending to me. I was like, "Oh, let me push it." He's just like, "No." I was like, "Okay." But yeah, we got back and it was just like hugged each other. It was like, that was awesome. We continued on a little program the next show. I think we had...
You did singles matches, right?
Singles matches, yeah. It was Chris and Aaron, and then I worked Jeff. But yeah, they were really fun. I love those guys. Like, it's almost like a brother. It is a brotherhood. Yeah. Like, you basically learn the craft. You train with these guys for however many months, so you develop a bond and a friendship. So
Chris was super young. Chris was like 15, 16 at the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
I'm surprised he didn't have a broken neck from that thing that Gary did.
Yeah, with the towel over the end of the ring. Like, yeah. It's so scary.
Yeah, right.
Terrifying. How did you guys decide who was going to be partners with who?
I think that was...
Because it was the two guys that had some experience against the two guys that had no experience. Not that had anything to do with it. But,
it might have, though, because...
Yeah.
I think it might have... because we did have that little bit of experience.
Yeah.
There's just like, okay, well, if something goes wrong or whatever, you got the little experience, you can make it work.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably
okay.
The reason why for that. Yeah.
Now, there's a whole whack of people in the Maritimes that claim to be trained by Wildman Gary Williams that aren't actually trained by Wildman Gary Williams. Gary's a nice dude, so he lets it go.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Now, you were actually trained by Wildman Gary Williams. I can vouch for it. I was there for every class. I filmed every class. What is your thoughts on all of these people that claim to be trained by Gary, that may have done 1 or 2 sessions with him, but claim that he's their trainer? Does it bother you at all? It bothers me. I don't know why.
Well, that just means that it... Well, no, because, like, Gary's an awesome trainer.
Oh, yeah.
And anything he can do to help somebody out,
it's not really about Gary, though. It's about these other individuals.
But I'm just thinking that these guys...
You don't have to say who they are.
I don't even know who they are, but I'm just going to say they obviously don't think that their original trainer is credible.
Yeah.
So they want to say, okay, well, I did a few classes with Gary. I'm going to say Gary.
Yeah.
Okay, that gets Gary over, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why it's getting you mad, because they didn't do the full training, but like Gary's number one thing is safety. Look after the guy. And like if he can teach that even in a couple classes to somebody that already has kind of training, he's helping them in a huge way. Because now this guy's not potentially hurting people. So...
But is that good enough though?
Hey, I mean, I'd rather go into a match with somebody who knows how to be safe than someone who doesn't.
Yeah, no, I agree, but that's not what I meant. I meant, is that 2 or 3 classes good enough? Does that make you safe? Like, I interviewed Charlie, and I couldn't agree more with everything he said about training in his interview. If you haven't watched it yet,
No.
check it out.
But I kind of got the gist of it, but I mean, you're always...
He trained for 13 months
Yeah.
before he ever had a match. He comes over here, and the training is quote-unquote rushed compared to him and a lot of other places. Like if you go to the Ring of Honor dojo, the Monster Factory, any place out in California, like the training is a lot different in various places of the world. And the UK, and specifically where he comes from, puts out an unreal amount of super talented guys.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like clearly, I've never done it, so I'm wondering your opinion of someone that has done it.
Yeah, I mean, like I think of it in the sense that you're always learning, even if you're trained.
Yeah.
I'm learning new stuff every day, or new things, like things you don't learn in training. So I feel like I'm always constantly training. But I mean, I think just.
Do you think it would help the Maritimes if everybody went through a full, proper training school? For safety reasons?
Yes.
For quality reasons?
I mean, obviously you want people in the ring that are going to be safe.
Yeah.
And look after each other. And still put on a good show and not look like the drizzling shits. So...
Because there are people out there that never got properly trained that are fine. Like I won't say locally, but like if you go to the WWE route, the Hardy Boys were technically never trained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They train themselves in the backyard on a trampoline. So it does work on a rare occasion, but safety-wise, what do you think? Not everyone's Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, that's very true.
Question: You do think that it would be beneficial if everyone had the opportunity and went to a full
yes, but
training
sometimes
school?
that opportunity is not available, so
Right.
you have to kind of go with what is available.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's like some of these places, like in England and California, are invite only, like or.
I mean, the Ring of Honor dojo is.
Yeah,
but
like
I'm just using it as
some
an
people
example.
don't have. I mean, I've heard of guys saving up money, like the legit guys. They all went and got trained by Lance
Right.
Storm.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Like Scott Savage left here and got trained by Dory Funk.
Yeah. So I mean,
Jeff was going to leave here to go get trained by Killer Kowalski before he got trained, but then Gary opened up a school here, so he stayed here.
oh okay. Oh, I remember hearing that. Yeah. I guess it's just boils down to like what's available.
Yep.
And how much you're willing to commit to, like pursue it. Like you said with like Jeff trying to go to Killer Kowalski's and Dory Funk and all that. If people just want to stay local, they're going to take what's available.
Mm-hmm.
So if a school is only running for 3-4 months, I mean, you could pursue other training afterwards, which I've also known guys to do. I've known a few lads to go down to the Monster Factory for extra training seminars and stuff, which is awesome. Or even like Ontario and Quebec.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you should always be learning. It's just not like, oh, well, I'm trained, I'm good to go. No, always be constantly learning.
And it's better now because Troy is running a real school
And
again
he's doing
too.
a
And
wicked job.
Troy's magnificent, but for a few years there, that option wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to IHW. Do you remember what ideas and stuff they had for you early on, or was it just the training matches, the tag match, and then the matches against each other? Was it supposed to go anywhere else?
I don't think it was supposed to go anywhere else. It was just like, I don't think they really had a program for me.
Yeah.
It was just basically, come on up and we'll book you at the time. So after like the training matches and like the singles matches with Jeff and stuff, I did a match. It was like I can't remember if it was a triple threat or, oh man, it was me, Nick Teeth, Legion Cage, and maybe someone else.
Miss Legion Cage?
Yeah.
Legion freaking Cage.
And I did that show, and then I think I did one other one, and then I fucked off and I moved to Ontario.
Right.
So, no.
Where did the name Julian Spades come from?
So, it originally was Julian Spacek.
Yeah.
So,
Where did that come from?
Devin gave me that name.
Okay.
He said, think of a first name that you really like. And at the time, Trailer Park Boys had just come out.
Okay.
And I really liked Trailer Park Boys, so I said Julian. And he goes, okay. I'm gonna call you Julian Spacek. And I'm like, what's Spacek? He's like, you know, like Sissy Spacek. I'm like, okay. So I went with that. And then, so did a few matches as Julian Spacek. And then we were doing a tour. I think it was Honky Tonk Man and Vance, Nevada. When I talked to Vance this past CAC in Vegas about it. So after a show in Digby, we're at a bar. And I walk into the men's room.
Was Cheeves on those shows?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah, I was there too. We broke all the glasses in the bar by stacking them.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Stole the sandwich board. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
And,
that's all coming back.
Yes, it's all coming back. But yeah, so I walk in the men's room to use the bathroom, and Vance is at the urinal, and I go up to the urinal next to him, and like he's just standing there, and he just goes, Spacek. I hate that name. And I was like, okay. He's like,
this was before Gary's school, too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. He's like, Spades, use it, go. And I was like, okay, thank you, sir. And I said, like, washed my hands, and then from then on, it was Julian Spades. So my wrestling name came from a bathroom in Bar Digby.
That's hilarious.
And then when
I don't even remember you being there. Because Marco was on those shows, Cheeves was on those shows. Do you remember Aurora?
Yeah.
She was on those shows.
She had just gotten her
Yeah.
her surgery and couldn't really work, and that pissed Cheeves off. But yeah, no, I was there. That's how I got my name.
That's awesome.
And then
I didn't really know you that well then. That's why.
No.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Gary's school
Yeah.
for our graduation match, he's like, well, we need you to be heel, so we're going to give you a heel name. And what's a bad name? And I was like, Damien, the son of the devil. And it's like, Damien Spades. And I was like, oh, I like the sound of that. And from then on, it was Damien Spades. I had another name change, but that's who I am. It's how you know me. It's how Gary knows. I'm Spades.
What was the other one?
Ryan Naden.
Right. That was Wrestle Center.
Center.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I still called you Spades. Like
Yeah.
even when I was repping your matches, I called you Spades.
Because we were shooting like stuff for the TV show backstage.
Yeah.
And Jason was like, "Well, we're just gonna use your real first name.
Yeah.
We'll come up."
I tried to get them to call you Ryan Nader.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah.
And he did. And at the time, Jason was going to do it because he didn't know Steen's. It's Steen's real name.
Yeah.
And then it showed up as Aiden. And I'm like, I was so close to getting you called Ryan Nader.
He's like, you need a last name, and at the time, like my cousin Scott was going. He was bringing his son Aiden, who was a big fan of mine. Obviously, family supports family, and he'd bring on. So I was like, what better way than Ryan Aiden?
Yeah.
It's got a nice ring to it. I wanted to be Aiden Blackheart. I really like the sound of that name, but he was like, no, it doesn't sound real enough. And I was like, okay, it's got a nice ring to it. And it rolls off the tongue nice, but okay.
Yeah. Richard Shenary.
Yeah, Richard
That sounds
Shenary.
very real.
Yes. Oh, man.
That's funny.
I enjoyed my time at Wrestle Center, actually.
We'll get there. I love Wrestle Center. I wish they were still running shows. While you were being trained, there was a wrestling reality taping at a Canning high school. That would have been like your first time, probably around like Peter Smith, Brody Steele.
Like around them personally, yeah.
Yeah.
Not seen them.
What are your memories of that show? You didn't wrestle. You
no,
were just
you
were there helping out. Yeah.
And it was the same thing. It was
What are your memories of Pete meeting him for the first time?
Monster. Well, I used to joke with the boys. Out of full respect for Pete, it was always we would take the Chuck Norris quotes, and change them to Peter Smith.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, this man is huge and he's scary, and I don't want to piss him off. So whenever and to this day, like, I love Pete and I respect the hell out of him. Every time I see him, I always offer to carry his bag for him if he asks if he needs anything, because he's done so much and I respect him and I look up to him. So I'll forever pay him. And you always got to pay your dues, right?
Yeah.
He's a vet. I'm still a rookie. So obviously I'm gonna pay my dues and offer to help him out, take his bags or whatever, because that's what you do. You pay respects, show respect in the locker room. But yeah, it was just, man, just like, and then see, I think that's the first time I've ever seen, besides Real Action, was Cowboy. And like, Cowboy's is even huge.
He wasn't
like,
on those shows.
Wasn't?
No.
I thought he was in the Wrestling Reality.
The next one.
Oh, the next one.
We'll get there.
Am I thinking about like?
You're thinking of the one we did in the high school? Had the John Kitchen. Do you remember?
No, I'm thinking of the one in the arena where we're all standing, and I'm sitting with.
That was Kentville.
That was Kentville, yeah.
That was like a year and a half later.
Oh well, damn.
The one I'm talking.
Maybe I shouldn't have bumped my head that time.
The one in Canning, it was like you and Jeff and Ryan and Chris were all there as students helping out. It was the one where Steen kicked out of the Wild Driver and he wasn't supposed to. Do you remember now?
Vaguely, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So no real memories of that show.
No.
Okay. So we're coming around to 2006. You had your first tag match and a couple singles matches with IHW. And then I get the idea to run with Sarah Dunsworth the third Maritime Cup, which was in June 2006, which you refed for me, correct?
Yes.
Yes. What are your memories of that?
A lot of fun. It was different. It was nice, like, to try something on the opposite end of, like, like refereeing instead of trying to perform. Yeah. Learning about how to properly ref, knowing the positioning of the ref. All that stuff, and still I was excited to be part of the show. So it was like a big show. Like didn't you have like you had Sid Bodie on that show, didn't you?
No, that was
I got my stuff all mixed up.
That was Pro Wrestling United. That was the summer before.
And he met. Is that the one where he tagged with that other guy with the big?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fuck me then. Man, that shit's all. See, I went away for
that was the Pro Wrestling United tour where Pete's ring got left on the side of the road, and they pulled the promoter off the bus down at the bus station. Yeah. Were you there for that?
No, but maybe I was, but if not, I remember them leaving Pete's ring. I remember hearing about that.
That was July 2005.
See, I moved away.
That's all right.
I cut out the business, and now like. It's nice, yeah. It's good to have you here, so I can start remembering all this stuff. But it's just like you're asking me these questions, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then I'm like mixing stuff up because, like, after
I originally had all you guys booked, all of Gary's students in a Wildman Academy Battle Royal on that show, which never ended up happening. Do you remember that? And do you remember me telling you that you weren't going to be on the show and me asking you to ref?
No, I'll be honest. I don't remember. I remember repping, but I don't remember you asking.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I said, it was a good experience to learn like different side of the business, how the referee works with the guys in the ring and everything like that. And it's obviously that was my first referee experience, and I've reffed other matches since then. So
yeah.
Essentially, you gave me a first shot at being a ref.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Maritime Wrestling.
Right.
No, when did you move? You were here for the Wrestling Reality tour, right?
Yes.
The real one.
Yeah.
Or the full one. Okay. Did you do anything on that following August show, the one where we hung Gary? Did you ref that one as well?
I might have refed it. I remember hanging Gary and like having to help him in the back.
Yeah.
That was at the multi-purpose center.
Yeah, they both were.
Yeah. So I remember. Yeah, because I remember the gimmick fucking slipped.
Yeah.
And he was actually choking.
Yeah.
And so, like, everyone ran out. So I was there for that. So when was that?
August 2006.
2006. Yeah, so I mean, I would have been just at, like, a year out of training or whatever.
Yep.
So I was still around then. I think I moved in 07
It's funny that IHW did hung somebody at the end of one of their most recent shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where the idea came from, but as soon as I heard, I can't remember who they hung, but
it was... Pete hung Cowboy.
Was it Pete hung Cowboy? As soon as I saw that, I'm like, wow, it's coming back like 10 years, like 13 years
Because Pete had a chair, and anyone that tried to go near Mike to help him, he'd swing the chair at him.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, so I think it was probably like 2008 I left. I moved, and I don't know why. I moved because I wanted like adventure and just see the country. And like I think I tried pursuing a little bit of wrestling where I was living. I remember going to a show in Welland, Ontario, and that's the first time I saw Cody Deaner,
Okay.
who's an amazing talent. And yeah, I've never personally met him, but I think I might have talked to him after the show and like let him and got like a contact, but never pursued it. It was just like, I think it was like a Maritimer in Upper Canada for the first time, and like everything's so like, oh my god, it's big, it's huge. I was just so excited to be there. It's just wrestling just kind of went like to the back, so I was wanting to explore all this newfound experiences, right? So, and it sucks because years later, talking to Gary's like, you idiot, I could have got you fucking booked here, I could have got you booked there, here. Like, even when like I moved out to Calgary for like 8 months.
Was that when Krista was out there too?
I think so.
Okay.
And he's like, man, I could have got you this, I could have got you like.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I don't know, I just had put it behind me, and then, yeah, when I moved back.
I remember, I didn't even know you moved back. I went to a Wrestle Center show at the Forum and you were there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the hell did you come from?
I had moved, because I left Calgary, and it was move back to Ontario and sleep on someone's couch and be a nuisance for a month or two till I get on my feet, or go home, you know, recharge the batteries, the East Coast batteries, see my family. It had been 7-8 years since I seen them, like on a regular basis. I'd come home for visits, but it was just like, oh, let's go home. And then I got in contact with Aaron. Aaron was running a show, CAW or CWA,
Something like that.
and he's like, man, I could use your help on the show. And I'm like, well, I haven't wrestled in like 7 years, but yeah, I'll give it a shot. And that's where I met Justin and Brett and like all those guys and became friends with them. Then they introduced me to Jason in Wrestle Center and started working at Wrestle Center, and then just meeting everyone again. And it's like, oh man, I haven't seen you in forever. It was so nice to see you. And so it was good to come back. I missed out here, and I missed the Maritime wrestling scene.
Did, now, after you finished training, there was a second class that had Crystalline Scott, Purity Saint, Heaven, Megan, was she in that? And
I think so.
And Jamie Hamilton, Disco.
Yeah,
Dave.
Disco.
Krista got a spot full-time on Grand Prix Wrestling right out of that. Jeff got a full-time spot on Grand Prix Wrestling right out of that. Did you try and get booked, and what did you think of them being able to get those spots over you? Did you try?
I don't think I tried. I think I was too intimidated because it's Grand Prix Wrestling, which I probably should have tried at least to, you know, you miss 1,000 or miss 100 of the shots you don't take or whatever that Gretzky quote is. Yeah. But no, I just, you know, I think I was doing IHW at that time, so I was like, oh, I'm getting booked up here. Yeah. I don't need to do that. But then looking back, it's like, yeah, it was Grand Prix. I probably should have done it. That's a good thing to have on the resume. Yeah. But no, it was good for them. Like, that's awesome. I remember them going on tour together, and then they got together, and it was kind of like it led into the wrestling reality story too. So,
so coming around to the spring of 2007, Wrestling Reality was finally going to get its television deal with the Fight Network. They've been working at it for a couple of years at this point, and they're going to do a full tour. Did you try and get booked on that tour?
I did. I would show up, set up the ring. I'd always bring my gear with me, and to this day, always bring your gear, even if you're not booked and you're going to a show. Always bring your gear. Yep. It's paid off for me 2 or 3 times now. Yeah. Going up to IHW, not booked. I just go up to pay my dues, see the boys, help out when I can, and I've been booked on every show. Even if it's a small little 5-minute spot.
That's true.
It's on there.
That's how I end up reffing 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, I always show up to film, but I always bring my ref gear just in case, right?
Yeah, always bring your gear. Yeah. Always. Have a little suitcase in your trunk. Yep. Leave it in there. Or whoever's car you're going in, just be like, throw it in there. But, like, obviously, like, Wrestling Reality, that was, like, the land of the giants. You know, we had Pete, Gary, Mike, like, all in shape. Like, I think I tried to get on, but I was like, if I don't, at least I'm here paying my dues, showing that I want to be here and the respect. given the respect.
You went on the full tour too, right? Like you did all
I think
the shows?
so, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And we're back.
Do you have any memories that stand out from the wrestling reality tour?
There was a segment that we shot where Duke test drove a truck, a red pickup truck, and we used that as a ring truck because I think our ring truck had broke down or we didn't have one. So I remember shooting that segment, and it's just like him speeding off in this red pickup truck, and we load the ring in it. We got the ring loaded into the venue, but there's that, and just like sitting in awe. Like I know there was a clip. It showed me and Nick sitting in the audience watching the show, and I'm just like, oh man, like this is so cool. Like this is the big guys. This is the guys I remember watching. Like and now potentially I could be in there doing that. So it was inspiring, and it was a cool concept. Like to show like the behind the scenes back then. Kayfabe was dying out, so but like a little bit of that stuff was scripted, but for the most part it was all real.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was a good experience.
So you left sometime after that.
Yeah.
Did you wrestle at all while you were away?
No, I tried. I should have tried more than I should have. Like the new friends that I met, I told them I was a wrestler. And like, oh yeah, and you should meet this person, that person. And like I said, I went to a show in Welland. That was only my only Ontario wrestling experience.
That was Cody Deaner?
And Cody Deaner was wrestling. And yeah, I remember meeting Holly Madison too. She was on that show. She lives in New Brunswick now. But I remember talking to her and Cody.
She still wrestle?
I don't think she's training to come back. She had a baby.
Okay.
And I think her knee is messed up, so she's rehabbing that. But she's starting to train again. And I see on her Facebook post that she wants to get back in the ring. So,
nice. Which
is good. Like we need more females in the Maritimes. Yeah. It's starting to explode now. So, which is awesome to see. And they're doing so awesome. They're putting in the work. So it's nice to see, and they're growing every day. So it's nice to see.
So when did you move back?
When?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's 2014?
I think so. 2014, 2015. So I left Ontario and moved to Calgary. And I wish I was still in contact with Gary then, because then I would have been able to go up to like Edmonton and meet Rivers and Massive. I think Spur was up there at that time. But I just didn't. I was trying to get my feet planted. It was hard to find a job, and it was like a new experience, new city. And then like 8 months or so went by, and I moved home. And like I said, I met Aaron and helped him out. And didn't I already cover this?
You did.
A little bit, yeah. So I moved home. Aaron Haggerty contacted me, and he was running the show, and he wanted my help. And I said, yeah, of course. Like, we're training, we're brothers. I'll help you out whenever. I'm that type of guy anyway. I'll help anybody out if I can. And that's when I met Justin and Brett and those guys, and then got involved with Wrestle Center. Did shows with Wrestle Center. Got connected with everyone else again, and here I am. And just recently with IHW again, started going up there. It's good to see those guys, because IHW is always, I always consider it like my home.
Yeah.
Because like they always treated me with respect. They always paid me. They always gave me opportunities, and like I always show them the respect back. And it's just always worked. And I feel good. They got a good crew up there, so I'll always go to bat for them. And yeah, I love it up there.
You hadn't had a match for 5 years or so by the time you came back here. What are your memories of the first match you had when you came back? Were you nervous? Did you think, do I still know how to do this? Or?
I mean, it's like riding a bike. Obviously, there was ring rust that I had to work off, that I'm still working off. But like I said, it's like riding a bike. Like, you know, take the first few bumps, like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, now I remember that. Hitting the ropes, same thing. Taking moves, giving moves. Obviously, like, hesitant on some moves because like it's the information's there. It just needs to be dusted off. So I don't want to risk hurting anybody. I was turning down bookings. I wasn't trying to walk into places and be like, well, I was trained by Gary 7 years ago. Give me a spot on the show. There's guys out there that are putting in a lot more work than I am. And that were at the time, and I don't want to steal their spots because they're putting in the effort. I just don't want to get booked because I was a name. So I pretty much went back to being a rookie again. That's how I feel anyway. Like, it doesn't matter how long I've been trained or how many matches I had. I'll always help set up the ring, put up chairs, pay my dues, show respect, shake everyone's hand. It's just the way I was taught, and to show the respect and shut up and listen. And so I'll always do that.
Do you think that's missing from a lot of the guys today?
Not a lot. There's a lot of old school guys.
I mean, like,
and the new guys.
The new guys is what I mean.
It's bestowed on them, and they do show it. I don't think there's really a problem with it around here. There might be one or two guys. But I also haven't met a lot of the other people.
Right.
Like the people up in northern New Brunswick, and I think I've only been to like one Red Rock, two shows, but even at Red Rock, those guys are...
It's safe to say the Red Rock...
that's a tight ship that Mike runs, and it's great. They have a great product, and nothing but class. So, to answer your question, for the most part, yeah, I think...
It's good?
Yeah, it's
awesome.
good. I mean, Maritimers, we're nice, we're friendly, we're respectful. So it's just in our nature, I guess.
You weren't with Wrestle Center all the way to their final show, right?
No.
Why did you leave?
There was, I don't know if it was a misunderstanding or it was like, I don't know, like I went to a UCW show and a picture was taken after the show. When
that big group picture.
That big group picture.
That was my idea. Like, I didn't.
And I immediately got a text message from Tyler asking, like, it's like yelling at me, like
Brett got fired over that too.
Yeah,
Thad. Yeah.
It was like, why are you at someone else's show? And I was like, why am I limited to only working for you guys? I'm not. It's not like I was booked on the show.
Because the fans and everybody were in that picture. That was a picture of like the entire building of people.
Yeah, I was there to support my friends.
Yeah.
I was there to help out. I helped out with the ring because as I was taught, even if you're at a show and you're whoever, unless you're like, you know, Gary or Pete or someone like that, you should always pay your dues and help out. But yeah, and then I just got heat over it, and it was just like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. I'm done. Sorry, wish you the best in the future endeavors. I pulled that line. And then I just stopped answering his text messages, and then Jason tried to message me a few times, and I explained to him what happened, and we just kind of parted ways. But I enjoyed my time at Wrestle Center. I figured one of my best matches was at Wrestle Center against Nick Diggs.
Goes for the title, right?
Yeah.
I repped that match. Yeah.
Yes.
It was good.
It was probably one of I tried new things that I had never tried before, like that baseball slide underneath the bottom rope across.
Yeah.
And it went really well, and I just felt really good about it. So, yeah, that's probably one of my best matches.
Why don't you use that handspring elbow thing anymore?
You're a fucking mark for that.
I am. Nobody else does it.
I think it's just fear of, like, I can do it. It's fear of failure.
Yeah. Can you not do it every time? Is it like...
No, I've pretty much been consistent every time I've tried it, but it's just, it'll be that one time.
Right.
Where I'm just, like, caught up in the heat of the moment.
But it's something that's going to separate you from
I know.
people, you know?
Well, jeez. And age, too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
I used to do moonsaults.
Yeah.
There's videos of me on YouTube of me practicing moonsaults at Gary School.
I remember. I filmed them.
Yeah. I did one. In Irishtown, where like you stood on the second rope and you were touching the ceiling.
Yeah.
I pulled off a second rope moonsault. I used to do like flippy stuff off the rope. I was younger. I was thinner, like more agile.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting older. I'll be 38 this year, but I know that's not an excuse because there's a lot of people over there. But you just learn to know what your bump card gets kind of full, and you just don't want to risk injury. Who knows? I might pull it off. Just for you.
You better.
You better. You have to ref a match.
Yeah.
If you're in the match, I'll consider it.
Because I was this close. But then it won't be on film.
No, that's true. Because I was like this close in that match with Ed. I thought about throwing it in, and I was like, no.
I remember telling you before this.
You're like, you better do it, or else
I'm not filming or not wrapping your bag or something. Yeah. What did you think when you heard Wrestle Center wasn't going to run any more shows? Did you have any opinions? You had already gone.
I'd already gone. It was just like, and at that time, everyone was pretty much walking out. So it was inevitable. I was just like, okay, they're going to fold like every other company. Like, because like UCW has been around since I can remember. They've always run shows. And they always pretty much were a mainstay. Mainstream died off. IHW was always running shows. But yeah, I just thought they were another flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm. Did you start wrestling for anyone else after you left Wrestle Center? Like while Wrestle Center was still running?
No, I didn't. While Wrestle Center was still running, I might have went to the one in St. John there, Vision Pro.
Vision Pro?
Maybe I started going to Vision Pro shows with Justin and Joey and them.
Yeah.
And I started, I showed up there.
You left for that.
I refed. I helped set up. I asked Dick if there was anything I could do for him. If he needed, I could ref. He's like, oh, perfect. We don't have a ref. You can ref.
Yeah.
So I ref. And it was like a little weird because I was growing my hair long at the time. And it's like, there's a referee that's kind of like fat and long hair. He looked like he shouldn't be there. But, I refed a few shows. And then me and Joey came up with the idea for the Dark Side Express. And he was looking for tag teams, so he was like, let's go with it, let's have fun. And some of the funnest times of my life. I watched some of those promos again a couple weeks ago. They're so good. We put a lot of effort in it. It was so much fun to shoot those promos. Yeah, I miss it. Dark Side for life.
How did you guys end up originally getting booked with UCW?
I think they were just looking for tag teams.
Because was Devin still running it, or did you not get booked until Marcus Burke took over?
Jeez, I can't remember. I remember Devin doing like a show or two.
Were you on the Matt Hardy tour?
Yes.
Okay, so that was still Devin.
Oh, okay. So then, was I booked on that tour? I can't remember if I was booked on that tour or just they were helping out.
Okay.
Was that like no, that wasn't the lead up to that. I don't know.
That's fine.
I can't remember, but I remember. Yeah.
What do you remember about it?
About what, UCW?
About going back to UCW.
Was I ever in UCW before that?
I don't think. I meant from like leaving Wrestle Center, not wrestling, and going to Vision Pro, and now you're coming back.
Oh, no, I mean, it was nice to wrestle locally again.
Yeah. Where
like my family and friends could come watch. And like I said, I was with Joey, who's a fantastic person and a great tag team partner. Such good creative ideas in that head of his. He's just a solid dude. But yeah, they said they needed tag teams. They were doing a tag team division type thing. And we pitched them the idea because we had started the tag team in Vision Pro because Dick was looking for tag teams.
That's something that the Maritimes doesn't have a lot of.
No. Like Sabotage is really the only.
They'll throw one or two guys together.
Yeah.
But there's never been like an actual team.
No, and that's like I've always wanted to try tag team wrestling because I think it was really cool to because like you said, the Maritimes don't really have tag teams, so it was like something different to try and to like try.
Ever since like the Sinners, I think they were like the last.
But they weren't really like a.
They were a faction.
They were a faction. We're a tag team, but like. They had Sabotage and us, really. I mean, I think that was the only real, like, established...
From here. Sure.
Because, like you said, they would just throw people together.
Kicking and Stomping would come in, but they're from Quebec.
They're from Quebec. And, like, other matches that me and Joey wrestled as the Dark Side Express was against two guys they would throw together, like Troy and Dynamite.
Right.
We wrestled. I can't... there's maybe somebody else I can't remember, or maybe that was it, I'm not sure, but our main feud was with Sabotage because they were the only tag team, and they still are the only tag team, and they're doing great things. Like, I wish there were more tag teams in the Maritimes. So, but they're representing the Maritimes as the tag team, so they're doing good. But we ran, and
Do you remember them telling you you're going to get the tag titles? Like, what?
No, we were at, I think it was a show in Spryfield. And, like, I was just there pretty much like, okay, let's do it, whatever. And then they were like, all of a sudden, it was like the day of the show, and then we weren't even booked.
Yeah.
And then we got thrown in at the last minute into a triple threat. And then I remember, I think it was Joey suggesting that, like, or me or Joey, I can't remember, probably Joey. Like, the heels should have the belts. Like, make the baby faces work. We'll start a program with Sabotage, and we'll get them fighting, and we'll build up to the big anniversary show where they finally get the belts. But, like, that would make the most sense, and I think...
That's the way it should be. Babyface chases the heel.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's the reason why we did that. So it was cool. I mean, belt's just a gimmick, but it was, you know... I had just started training at my job, and I remember, like, oh yeah, you introduced yourself, like, my name is Ryan, and in my spare time I'm a pro wrestler, and I'm a tag team champ, and we were like, oh my god, like, I was marking out a little bit, but people were like, oh my god, and then I remember one day my trainer asked me to bring the belt in, so I did, and he's like, this is so cool, and I was like, you should come out to a show, and yeah, and then cutting those promos, like, the Christmas promo was awesome, the apology video is my favorite, because we burned Connor's eye with a cigarette and did something to Dave, and we had to put an apology video out, and it was comedy gold. It was good. And then I remember shooting our promo for the anniversary show, the one where we're behind the graffiti wall in downtown Dartmouth. It was 2 takes. We were pretty good at doing 1 takes, but it took us 2 takes, and we would have to wait for, like, a train would go by, or there'd be people walking their dogs, and they'd stop and see what we're doing, and we're like, you need to keep going, like, this is gonna, like, kids there, and we're swearing and stuff, it's like, you need to keep going, but it turned out really good. But yeah, I even, you know, and then Joey decided to take some time off, because, like he explained in his video, he's just losing his passion for the business, which sucks, because that guy loves the wrestling business. So I understood, and I just kind of did my own thing.
What are your memories about being a part of putting Emily through the table?
I remember when they told me about it, it was just like, really? Like, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, are you sure? Like, and she was all gung-ho for it, and Joey made sure she was super safe. We ran through the motion of it, and it turned out really well. Joey took really good care of her, and it worked out for us. I remember, was that or the... Yeah, I think it was that. Because I had set up the table, and the referee moved it, and then I had to move it again to get it in position. Unless that was the TLC match.
That was the TLC match.
Okay, then yeah, whatever. I'm still reeling from that.
From that first bump?
Yeah.
So they announced that you guys are going to do a TLC match at the Civic Center as part of the 10th anniversary show, I believe it was.
Yeah.
There's like 1,200 people there. Was that the biggest crowd?
That is the biggest crowd I've ever
been in front of.
Because they had to move it, actually, because we'd sold out the multi-purpose center.
Yeah.
And then, so we moved next door to the Civic Center, and it was just like we set up all the chairs, and it was just like. And then when they opened the doors for the VIP pretty much filled up. And then when they left the rest, I remember we went and had a look outside, and the lineup went out and around and down, down the street. We're like, really? Like, this is for us? And it was just like, yeah. I remember, I think they were selling tickets in the lineup. Kevin Danis was, I think, or Mike Miles or somebody. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, but. I don't remember the crowd, really. Because when I get out there, I focus, and, like, everything just kind of goes black around me. And, like, at certain points, you kind of click back in and see the crowd and interact. But for the most part, I don't even see they're there. And
you have that tunnel vision.
Exactly. Because that was, like, this was my first TLC match. And in front of that huge of a crowd, I was super nervous anyway. But there's an old saying, if you're not nervous, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
You should always be nervous, especially something like that. But we had the match worked out, and everything went really well. I don't think the scar. Yeah, it's gone now. I had a scar. The only thing that went wrong with I think Justin went to hit me with a chair on the outside, and I had my arm on the guardrail, and it pinched, and that was about it.
What are your thoughts on when you found out, or memories of when you found out they weren't going to be able to hang the belts?
I was pretty upset. Joey wasn't there. I was the one that had to tell Joey, and he was beyond livid. But I remember talking to the guy. I'm like, there has to be something we can do to at least hang it or get a string up there or something. Like, the whole purpose of this is to hang belts. He's like, well, you can't put it on this and you can't put it on that, because if you pull down too hard, then water's going to come down and all this stuff. And we're just like, we were trying to figure out like all these ideas. We were trying to come up with something we could makeshift to make it work. But I remember the lighting guys, we had the lighting set up around the ring.
Yeah.
They even thought about running something across that, but it wouldn't work. And then at the last, they're just like, we can't do it. So we're like, well, we'll just say that it's a no disqualification match, or with, you know, with weapons or something. Like, we'll. Yeah. So we worked it in. I had it kind of worked out because I had ordered 2 shirts from Nathan, Mercenary Merch. It's a Sabotage stock.
Is that Nathan Jones guy?
Yeah, Nathan Jones. Yeah.
What a name.
I know, right? Great, does great work.
Yeah, no, I've seen.
So I'd special ordered 2 shirts for me and Joey to wear, and we cut the sleeves off, and we were wearing our jackets, and like I did such a good job of hiding those from Justin and Connors that when they went out first, and then we put them on as soon as they went out. We had the shirts there, we put them on, and we did up our jackets. I remember Emily was backstage, and I was like, Emily. And I showed her that, and she goes, oh my God, Justin's going to lose it. And I was like, I know, right? So we ended up cutting a promo as we walked out to kind of explain why the belts weren't hanging. Mm-hmm. And that was like quick thinking on Joey's part. Just be like, and like I was like, well, we'll figure something out, cut a promo or something. And Joey was like, okay, I got it in my head, we'll do it. So we walked out and just cut the promo. And then we revealed our shirts, so it kind of worked out in that sense. But no, we made it work. We just couldn't do any ladder spots. Really, I think we did one, like Justin climbed the ladder and I powerbombed him off on the chair. So we cut something like that, but because he went up to reach for the belt and was like, "Oh yeah, there's no belts," so yeah. It kind of worked. So
were you happy with how the match turned out?
Yeah, I was, except for the end. But that's already been covered.
I fixed it.
Yes, thank you for that.
Now, after that match, you took a considerable amount of time off, like a year and a half or something?
Yeah, I mean,
What happened? Or why?
Well, I don't know, really. I was just starting a new job. Didn't want to risk getting injured. And for the last year or so, I've been running with Joey and known as a tag team. So it was kind of, when he decided to take time off, I was kind of like lost. I was like, well, what do I do now? Like, do I try to reinvent myself as a singles wrestler? I tried to come up with ideas as a singles wrestler to come back took some time off, worked, and then I had this one idea where I was going to come back as Damien Spades, and it's like, because I took all the stuff from the TLC, I knocked my head, and now I think I'm some 80s hair metal guy who's like yelling and screaming every time. And we had thrown around all these ideas, like I cut off my hair and then I'll wear a wig, and when I got the wig on, I got superpowers, and then when the wig comes off, I'm just a normal guy. We just screwed around, and I tried it once. We did like a birthday party show at the training school.
Yep.
And I tried it once. I tagged with Madison, I think, in a mixed tag or something. I can't remember. But yeah, I was just like, no, I can be shy at times. So it's just like, I don't know if I can commit to this. So let's go back to doing what I do. And then, yeah, so I pretty much just ventured out on my own.
What made you decide to come back?
I missed it. Yeah. I missed, I had people at work.
Were you still following the scene and stuff?
Oh yeah, still following stuff. But people are asking me, are you coming back? When are you wrestling again? And stuff. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just kind of working right now, and I want to get back into it, and I love everybody, and I miss them, and I want to get back. And then I finally said, okay, I'm gonna come back. And I think I only did because I came back at UCW as a surprise in the Halloween Battle Royal.
Yep.
And then I don't know. I think I was just working so much. My schedule didn't work
Yep.
for that because I was new. Like my seniority was really low at work, so I couldn't get the days off for the shows. So that was another reason. And I came back again for another Battle Royal. And then it was just, you know what, like now that I've been at work, when my seniority's up more, I can get these days off. I want to make a full-time commitment to be back. And now I'm coming back.
What are your thoughts when UCW announced that they were going to do the VIP only shows as a separate show?
I think it's a great idea because it gives the newer guys and the less experienced guys a platform to excel, try out new things, to show the crowd like I deserve to be in the main event. Like this is they're putting in the work, and I think it's a great idea. And I'm there to help out as much as I can. I remember Dave asked me to help out before he left, and I was like, yeah, of course, like, and I'll continue to go to these UCW VIPs because I'm not looking for main event stuff now. I'm just looking to help. What's the word?
Help
the newer guys.
Yep.
Put them over. Enhancement talent almost.
Yeah.
If they're looking to try something new, I'll take some bumps for you. You know, what I don't understand is, I guess people really like the Dark Side Express because both times I came back from the Battle Royal, I got a huge pop when I came out, and then when I came back for these UCW VIPs, I'm a babyface, which was weird because I haven't been a babyface in a long time. And Dave's like, I need you to be a babyface, and I'm like, but I'm a heel. He's like, yeah, but I need you to be a babyface. I'm like, okay, now I gotta remember. So don't tell the crowd to shut up. Tell them like, let's go, come on, and be all pumped up and energetic. And it works. I got some great advice from Kobe. Kobe's a great talent, knows what he's talking about. He's helped me out a lot. He's like, you know what, go out there and try something, and if they like it, they'll do it back to you. And so I would come out, and I'm all fired up, and like this rocker guy, and he's like, oh, and he said that pretty much a wrestling gimmick or character should be an extension of your real life and your real personality. And I'm a rock and roll, easygoing, let's have fun guy. And then like I pursued that and pushed it out there, and it's working. Like I'm getting huge pops. Like I come out and I did this thing where I was like strumming a guitar, and I was like, well, this seems kind of dumb, but I'll go with it, you know. I did that, and sure enough, the next VIP show, I come up through the curtain, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And I look over, and some kid's rocking out, and I'm like, holy shit, it works. And then it felt great. And I mean, like interacting with the fans again, high-fiving, seeing them at the merch table, they're great. And I was like, how did it go from being like I was a heel or people were booing me and now people love me? I don't get it, but I wouldn't trade it. So
that's awesome.
Thank you, fans. I appreciate you welcoming me back.
All right, so we're gonna do some fan questions here.
Oh, there is some?
Let's see.
Probably not.
I don't read any of these ahead of time, so
It was Friday at like 10 a.m.
I'm sure there's a couple. People live on Facebook.
Yeah?
Let's see. Where's my post? That's not it.
Zero questions?
What's that?
Is it zero?
No. Give me a sec. It's still loading.
Oh, it's still loading.
Still loading.
I could have gave you my Wi-Fi, man. I'm not that cold-hearted.
That's fine. Let's see how it is. Oh, there's a few there.
Oh, shit.
All right, here we go. Chris Cass. Would you agree that people born on September 23rd are the coolest?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because not only are we awesome, but we're the best of both because being born on the cusp, I'm a Libra and a Virgo. So some horoscopes I'm a Virgo, some I'm a Libra, and you get the best of both of those. But I'm more a Libra in my tendencies, but yeah, we're awesome.
Greaser wants to know Jesse Sapano or Kelly Kapowski?
Oh, Kelly Kapowski,
Yeah.
all the way back.
For sure. Chris Cass comments, show some respect to Liesl Turtle. Eric Wright says, I think his shirt says it all. And yeah, it does, but that's the wrong answer. Lisa is wonderful, but she's no Jessie Spano.
I love how my New Scott interview has turned into a Saved by the Bell conversation.
And it's Valerie Malone all the way. That's what she played on 90210.
Yeah.
Leo DeWolf, what is the best story you have about... What is the best wrestling story you have about being on the road? What's your best road story?
Oh, man. Jeez.
Oh.
Put me on the spot here. I didn't...
Something funny? Something not funny?
One time when we were doing I was with Mainstream.
Is it the Claw?
The Claw is a good story. We were in the back of the ring truck, and we had pulled over because I think we got to the town, but we didn't know where we were. But Devin ribbed us and pretended they got pulled over by the police. So we're all like new guys, right? And we're freaking out, and he's like, I can hear him outside talking, and somebody changed their voices to make it sound like a police officer. And I remember trying to hide underneath pieces of the ring because they were always like, yeah, you can look in the back, no problem. And I'm like diving under mats in like pieces of the ring. So that one was pretty good. Road stories. I don't have road stories, but like I had a lot of fun in training, like the Gary's school. Like he said about the power bomb and the beat me with a sneaker. Mm-hmm. That was just like, it was scary, man. I held on, I was like, no. I remember shoot wrestling you. That was fun. Shoot wrestling Steam. I remember we went to Doolittle's for food. Were you there? It was me, Steen, I think Tony.
Probably.
Steen went to the bathroom and like we pretended to mess with his food.
Yeah.
And like we took pictures of it and stuff. That was pretty fun. Yeah. Drinking with Pete after a Greenwood show was pretty fun. Because he was just like, he's saucy. I love Pete. And yeah, no.
Well, that's cool.
I remember we got a flat tire once in Sheet Harbor coming back from a show. That was fun. Yeah, I don't know. If I think of any, I'll tell you.
This next question was one I had coming up. So, Chris Glidden, how was the experience of being Santa with IHW and working with Brody Steele?
Oh, man.
So, talk about your Brody Steele match.
A Brody Steele match. So, like Joey said in his interview, we were driving up because I was coming up with Joey at the time for all the shows, just to see the boys and help out. And like he said, he was talking about, like, I'll pitch the idea for me and you because it makes sense. And then literally my phone goes off and I look at it and it's like, Peter Smith. It's like, are you coming to the Moncton show? Yep. Do you have your gear? Always. And he didn't even ask. He just goes, good. You and Greaser versus me and Hicks in a tag match. I look at Joey and I look back. Okay, thank you. And that was it, right? So, you don't question stuff like that. I got a booking.
Against Pete.
Yeah. And it was weird because when Pete announced that he was coming back for that show, something told me inside that I was like, I'm going to be involved with Pete. I know it.
He's coming back.
He's coming back. He's not saying who he's booked. He knows that I've been coming up the last few shows. For some reason, I'm going to be involved with that. And sure enough, I was. And I was like excited and scared at the same time because it's Pete. He's a veteran. But it was also a wicked experience to be in the ring with somebody that has that experience. Yeah. It was awesome. Like, it was scary and awesome at the same time. I remember at the beginning of the match, I was telling you outside, we were doing a face-off or whatever, and me and Joey were always comedy heels as the Dark Side Express. So, if you watch the video back, you see me go like this in front of Pete, and Pete just goes, no comedy, and then as soon as he said, you watch the video, my arm just goes like that. I was like so scared. And then, yeah, it was such a good time. A little, not stiff, it was snug, and it was great, and it was safe, and I do it again.
You get any advice from him after the show or after the match?
Basically, just there's like I think one thing that I just kind of messed up because I'd never done it before, and he's just kind of let me know about it, and he's like overall, I'm really happy with that, and that made me feel good, and Joey felt great about it. So, and then I immediately texted you and Gary, and I was like, I just worked feet in a match, and you're like, what? That's awesome, and I was like super excited.
I was really happy for you. Because there's not a lot of people that get that opportunity, right? Yeah,
and in the Santa suit, Chris and Greaser were having a no disqualification match, and it was around Christmas time, and I've been coming up with Joey, so I've been kind of involved with him, and then I threw out the suggestions, like, if I get a Santa suit, how about I get involved, and just for like a quick, a little 5-minute spot or whatever, and they both loved it. So I messaged Dave Boyce, because Dave's got a Santa suit. I was like, Dave, can I borrow your Santa suit for the ISW show? He's like, yeah, sure. And then he's like, well, I'm coming up for it too. And I was like, oh, perfect. So we got that, and we went up to the show, and we laid out the idea. And I remember Dave's Santa suit comes with like a fake belly, and I'm putting it on the costume. And Pete walks by, he's like, well, you don't need that fake belly. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I know. And then Dave's like, just don't ruin my suit, because they had like other ideas of me getting hit with chairs or a ladder or something. I'm like, I don't want to ruin Dave's suit. And then they're like, okay. So we just did our spot, and it was super fun. Like the reveal and everything, and it was. I love doing stuff like that. I love like a little bit of. I'm a comedy wrestling fan anyway, but just doing little fun stuff like that is awesome. I'd do it again.
Jordan Talbot, what is the locker room atmosphere like in the UCW VIP?
Very respectful. Everyone gets along with each other. Everyone's helpful of each other. It's great. If somebody's working at a match, you'll have somebody else come over, pitch ideas. Yes, no. They're like a nice little knit family. It's very, very good. Tight ship there, so
awesome.
It's really good.
Jim Joyce, when shall we do round 2? I think you are one up on me. Do you know what he's talking about? Because I don't.
Anytime, Jim Joyce. I told you that. Me and Jim wrestled a match when I first came back. Remember? Or no, for Wrestle Center. I had Justin in my corner, and he had Bullen in his corner, and we wrestled in Kentville.
Oh, okay, I was definitely there. I reffed that entire show.
Yeah, so that's what he means. So anytime, man, you get a little step ladder, come on up to me. I mean, we'll hug after like we always do, but.
Step ladder. Dave Boyce, how hard was it for you not to check your phone during this interview?
Surprisingly, I think I checked it, once?
Once,
yeah.
And it was when we weren't filming.
So and it was when we weren't filming, so yeah, it's sitting by my side, but here, just for you, Dave. Gone.
Let's see what we can post. I got his phone, guys. Let's see, I think that was the last fan question there. Now my phone is playing Gary's interview for some reason.
Let's watch Gary's interview. Yeah. Live reactions.
I actually want to do those, not with interviews, but with people watching their matches back.
Yeah.
It's an idea that I have. Yeah, that was the last fan question. I've got a couple more here. Who's the best wrestler you've ever seen? Like locally or on television, anywhere, anybody?
Holy shit. There's so many. Like, how do you name one?
When I said that, who came to your head first?
Kobe.
Yep.
It's really good. Titus, Julian.
But like all time, like WWE,
all time.
Anybody.
Pete Dunne's really good.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. I had the pleasure of watching them live, which is great.
That's right.
I'm a little late to the Ricochet bandwagon, but now that I'm more see him, he's phenomenal.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler's great. Like I loved when he was doing. I don't know if he's still doing it. I catch Raw every now and again. Does he still come out with the no music?
He does. He's left now, but he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I really like that he come out like, I'm better. Like, I don't need you people. I don't need this.
Yeah.
I always thought him and...
he's my favorite guy to watch.
Him and Drew McIntyre were going to pull a whole Shawn and Diesel gimmick.
So did I.
I thought it was like they were setting up for it because he's wearing like the Shawn type gear and Drew's like the big tall, like... But, oh, jeez. Yeah, it's pretty much.
Okay. Oh, back when you were training,
Yep.
there was a picture taken, the Wild Man Academy, with everybody giving Devin the finger. You were in that picture.
Yes, it was.
Thoughts on why you guys took that picture, and any regrets taking the picture, and have you ever talked to Devin about the picture?
At the time, I was young, dumb. I was like, yeah, screw you. You weren't paying me. Blah blah blah. So F you. I'm getting properly trained now. Obviously, I regret it because it was stupid and immature of me. Devin broke me into the business. He taught me the basics, so I'll forever be thankful for him for that. I have no problem with Devin. Every time I see him, I always say, hey, and what's going on?
Good.
So yeah, it's one of those things it's just young and stupid.
Yeah. UCW on the 11th anniversary show announced War Games. Did you have any itch to get back for that match, or what are your memories?
I would have liked to be in the War Games, but
did you think it was going to happen? Because nothing against them. Indie wrestling announces a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't actually happen, and War Games is a big task to take on. Did you think the cage was going to be there that day? Because you were at the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No doubts.
Because when Chuck says something, pretty much 99% of the time it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I remember the cage showing up and us setting it up. The second ring showed up.
Without a post.
Yes, and then Dana had to drive back to Truro to get it. But yeah, I think the War Games should have been the main event because of how long it took to set up and tear down. But
and it's War Games.
and it's War Games. But I remember the cage showing up and us setting it up and doing all of us working hard to get that cage up as fast as we could and taking down. And I was the first person in a double ring War Games cage in the Maritimes, even though it wasn't booked. Somebody pointed out, they're like, "Hey, you're the first person in it," and I'm like, "Oh, I am," even though I'm not booked. Might have been Biff Boys, I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
If you could put one match on a DVD to show somebody what you do up until this point in your career, what match would you choose?
It's a toss-up between the Nick Diggs match and the TLC match.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my two favorites that stand out.
Who do you think is the best wrestler in the Maritimes right now? Who's your favorite guy to watch?
Oh, there's so many. I love you all. Kobe, Maddie, Charlie, even though she's only here for a certain amount of time,
Winston.
Charlie Winston, yeah. Casey's come a long way and he's doing fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the Dynamite's giving, just because I'm part Newfie, so I can relate.
Yeah.
It's great. I remember at the last VIP show, he's out there and he's cutting his promo and he's just right into Newfies. I'm like, oh yes, bye. This is awesome. What?
What part? My family's from Clarenville. That's all I have.
Oh, my dad's from Franceway. It's a small town. It's 4 hours by boat only from Burgeo.
Oh, nice. I lived in Newfoundland before, and I spent every summer down there as a kid.
Nice.
With my grandmother.
Yeah.
Right in Clarenville. Small little town of
the ISW guys are all...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You went to Real Action Wrestling shows, and you were around now. Back in the day, professional wrestling drew more crowds in the Maritimes with a smaller avenue of being able to advertise.
Yeah.
Now with social media being a thing, it gives more avenues for people to advertise. So you think more people would know about the shows. But we're drawing less people on a more consistent basis. We draw a ton of people a couple of times a year, but not on a consistent basis like it was in the Grand Prix days or the Real Action days. Why do you think that is?
I think they just get lost in the shuffle of social media.
Yeah.
Because there's so much stuff that's on social media nowadays. People posting about their bowl of cereal they're eating and I put on blue socks today, so someone will post something about wrestling, and then 50 other posts will come after that about the stupidest shit, and just push it back, and it's getting lost in the shuffle. So it's good that I noticed lately a lot of people, a lot of workers and stuff are they're sharing the events more frequently to get it out there.
Yeah.
So keep doing that. Postering. Is always a good idea, because I drive the city bus, so I'm driving around the city all day. I see posters.
Yeah.
If I'm seeing them, other people are seeing them. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's just there's so much stuff going on social media nowadays that it just gets lost in the shuffle. So people have to do their part to keep it up at the top and fresh and relevant.
Now, you've recently started going to the gym on a more regular basis.
Which I should have done 15 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But, and even a few years ago, you asked me for training tips and diet, and I gave it to you, and you did it for like an hour and a half, and then stopped doing it again. Why did it take you so long to realize how important it is? Not everybody's got to be a bodybuilder, right? But you have to be in shape. You have to look like an athlete. Like, you have to look like an athlete, or at least be able to, like, I always use Tony as an example. Tony didn't look like quote unquote athlete. He was 400 pounds, but he had more cardio than everybody combined, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to get in there and go.
I remember Sarah. Stop.
Yeah.
She, like the best cardio ever, and she smoked.
Yeah.
Like.
But she
Back then.
She was also still is in like phenomenal shape, right? It was so weird. She'd be like smoking while doing the warm up, and it's like, stop! Like, you're making everybody look bad.
I honestly don't know. I was stupid. I should have.
What was it about it? Because I don't wrestle, obviously.
Yeah.
But everybody used to always tell me to go to the gym, go to the gym, and go to the gym. I was like, nah, I'm good eating my cheeseburger. But then I met my wife, and she took me to the gym, and I'm like, man, what have I been saying no for to all these years? I fell in love with it instantly.
But with my new job, I sit a lot.
Yeah.
Before I started working at my new job, I worked for a company where I was outside a lot. I worked for a cable installation company, so I was outside. I was moving around a lot. I was carrying heavy ladders, moving stuff. I was out working, and I would go to the gym here and there, and it's just like...
But you have to be consistent
to
work, right?
And it was just like, well, I'm not losing weight, but I'm not gaining weight. I've got a little bit of tone. And then with this new job, I'm sitting for 8 hours a day. And it's just like, I gained 10, 15 pounds, and I was just like, no, I can't do this. Like, I was feeling really crappy health-wise. I was just like, I need to start losing weight. So I started like dieting a little bit, and then Pete said to us at the end of the year last year, he's like, this is going to be a big year for us. I want everybody in the gym tanning. I want you to look like you could kick anybody's ass in a room, which is what you should be doing for the most part. Mm-hmm. Maybe that might be an old school way.
That's true. The fans shouldn't look in the ring and be like, I could take him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's just like, I really want to give Maritime Wrestling like my all this year.
Good.
So I'm taking it super serious, and I want to be a better person and a better shape so I can get more bookings, where I don't have to go and ask to be booked, where people will contact me. So I just wish I wasn't stupid and did this like 15 years ago.
Right.
Because like I feel great, I'm looking great, I'm feeling confident. The last UCW VIP show, I was in a 6-man tag. My character, I come out with my pants and I have a cutoff shirt with my singlet underneath. And I was going to wrestle with my shirt on. And I was just like, I felt really good, and I felt really confident about the hard work I'd been putting in. Yeah, I still kind of look the same, but I noticed that I've lost a little bit of weight in belly and stuff. And I was like, no, I want to show this off. I've been working hard. I've been meal prepping, going to the gym. And at the last second, I flipped off my shirt. And I was like, no, I'm going to wrestle without a shirt on.
That's awesome.
And it felt good to be able to do that. Because before, I'd just be like, no, like,
right.
And like I'd always be pulling my shirt down if I was taking bumps. I was just like, no, I got to smarten up.
That's awesome. So you're enjoying being in the gym now?
I am. Like I've been going pretty much every day.
It's hard.
It is hard, but after a few weeks, you get into like a routine now.
Oh
yeah. And like my work schedule changed this week, so it's not completely different. We'll just have to go later on in the evening, which is fine. So that's good. And I have a good support system. My girlfriend goes with me. She's lost like 30 pounds.
That's awesome.
In the last she's doing phenomenal.
Good for her.
Her brother's girlfriend.
I love hearing that stuff.
Yeah, her brother's girlfriend is like a huge fitness nut, so she's been helping her. And it's just
good.
Like she showed me a picture last night of her from our trip to Ontario in October, or no, September of last year to now, and it's just like wow.
Yeah.
And so she's working really hard, and it's good. I like going with them because like they're motivating, and then like I'll message the boys, and like I've gone to the gym with Casey and Tyrion and Brett and Charlie Winston, and like I'm telling them like every time I go to the gym, I'll message you, and we'll go to the gym like yeah let's do it, and they've helped me so much with exercise and workouts. Like I worked out with Casey last night. Probably if he's going tonight, I'll probably work out with him tonight when we go. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I didn't talk about that you wanted to mention? Anything I forgot?
Finally threw out those pants.
Which
the
ones?
Spades pants.
Threw them out, man. They should go in the Maritime Wrestling Hall of Fame.
No, they sat for so long, folded up, the pleather or whatever, all stuck together, and it was like peeling apart. All the colors faded. I was like, no, it's time to go.
That's funny.
No, I think you pretty much covered it all.
Yeah. Do you have any closing comments for any fans, family, or friends that could be watching this?
I want to thank everybody for all the support that you've given me over the years, especially the last few years. It's really good to be back, and I'm really happy to perform for you, and I hope I'm doing a good job. Keep coming out to the shows and supporting Maritime Wrestling. For the wrestlers, just keep doing what you're doing. Pay your dues, show your respect, work hard. You know, I'm here if you have any questions, even though I don't really have any answers, but I'm a shoulder you guys can lean on if you need me.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, like I really appreciate all the support and all the friendships I've made. Here's to a good 2019.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with me. I've known you for close to 15 years now.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of really good times together.
Oh yeah.
Over the years, and I look forward to having so many more. And I'm glad that you're back on a more regular basis. I really enjoy having you at the shows.
Don't roll your eyes when you say that.
I didn't. Did I? No. They can't see me. Shut up.
I have to tell. No,
I really enjoy having you at the shows.
It's so good to reconnect with you too. Like,
yeah.
And I'm gonna get you to Vegas next year, 2020. The Cauliflower Alley Club, like this is a cheap plug. The Cauliflower Alley Club is an amazing organization. For you young wrestlers out there, do some research on it. It's an organization that helps us support other wrestlers around North America and the world. They have an annual reunion in Las Vegas every year where they give out awards. You get to meet other workers from around the country, possible bookings. It's worked for Madison. She's gotten shows all over the place. A lot of people she's met at the CAC. And, it's just a good time with good friends. I want a big group going next year. 2020, it's the 55th annual. Just Google Cauliflower Alley Club. It's CAC. Jim Ross has nothing but good things to say about it. He promotes it. He encourages it. He even said last year.
How many years have you gone?
I've only gone for 2, but I'm a lifer now. Like, I'm not going this year because I have a vacation, but that's why I want to go in 2020. But he said last year, he was the MC. He's like, it's such a good organization. Like, if you can't afford a membership, message me. I'll pay for your membership. Like, that's how I just want the people, because it's such a well-knit family that support each other. And they put on wrestling shows, and they have nostalgia rooms, and, like, you can play crib and bowling against like legends and stuff. Like,
that's awesome.
It's such a good time. I encourage everybody to if you're a worker to check it out. It's for fans, but mostly for workers. I'm hooked. Like, so I'm trying to get everyone to go.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's my little spiel about that.
That's sweet. No, and to anybody watching this that has made it all the way through, you can now listen to these on iTunes and other platforms, podcast platforms. The links are in the description below. It has nothing to do with me. Rockstar Chris Cole is doing all of that for me because I have absolutely no idea how to do it. So big thanks to him for doing it. But yeah, I don't know when this one will be up, but it will be up. All the links are in the description below to where you can get this on various podcasts.
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook.
Where can people find you?
Damien Spades. Like Joey said in his, I have a Twitter. I don't really tweet. But I think it's just my actual shoot name.
Ryan Durnford?
Yeah. At Ryan Durnford. I think the picture
so is your
is
Instagram
like,
too,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I don't really... I have them, but I don't. I think I'm on Facebook mostly, but I have Twitter just to keep up with Twitter and Instagram. Like I think I just re-downloaded it like a month ago. But Damien Spades on Facebook. Go add me, like me, send me a message. If you want to book me, you can send me messages directly.
What's your email?
It's just message me on Facebook because I can't remember.
I'll link it so that you can find it.
It's ryan.durnford at hotmail.com.
Okay.
I'll write it down for you. But yeah, I'm looking to come to new places and new experiences. I'm a hard worker.
That's true. No
you can cut out that gun thing, right?
No.
You son of a bitch.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.